Hi, my name is Deena. I'm an intern at Museum Strathroy-Caradoc, and I'm here today to help showcase some of the items we have in the collection related to post-war immigration. While there have been people of many different cultures who have come to Strathroy-Caradoc in the years since its founding, our focus today will be on some of the groups who arrived in the years following either the First or Second World War. These include Dutch, Portuguese, as well as Hungarian immigrants who all left their home country under similar circumstances and found their way to different parts of Canada. The first object from the museum's collection we'll be showing today is a pair of clogs. These are, unsurprisingly, Dutch in origin and were made in the Netherlands. While still in good condition, this pair has obviously seen a fair bit of use, with a number of scuff marks on both of the clogs, as well as damaged paint on the bottom of each. This doesn't come as a surprise, as clogs have historically been used from everything from work to fashion wear, making them quite the versatile shoe. As for what they're doing here in a place like Strathroy, well, these likely would have been brought over in the 1950s alongside one of the thousands of Dutch immigrants who came to Canada during this time. As many of these migrants were farmers whose land had either been flooded or otherwise destroyed during World War II, they often ended up in parts of rural southern Ontario, including here in Strathroy-Caradoc. Approximately 100,000 Dutch migrants would end up arriving to Canada in the decade following the Second World War, each bringing a piece of their family history and culture that has helped shape the town into part of what it is today. The second object we'll be looking at is this small decorative rooster. While the tag it comes with calls it a love rooster, the broader term for this type of figurine is the Barcelos rooster, which originated from a town in northern Portugal of the same name. This one was first made in Portugal in the 1970s before being exported to Canada not too long after. Much like the Dutch, Portuguese immigration to Canada peaked in the years after World War II, with thousands of arrivals each year. While they emigrated from just about every part of Portugal, more than 70% of all Portuguese immigration during this period came from the Azores, a small island chain in the middle of the Atlantic. With them, they brought many of their traditions and customs, the most notable of which being an annual event called the Festival of the Holy Spirit, which in the past had been celebrated here in Strathroy. Finally, we move on to a series of textiles. The items belonging to this collection include a grain bag, an apron, and a pillow cover, to name a few. These belong to a Hungarian family who immigrated to Canada after World War I. Both the bag and the apron are handmade, while the pillowcase was made in a factory in Hungary before being imported to Canada. You may have been quick to notice the initials on the front of the grain bag. These represent the name Serena Kosa, a Hungarian woman who arrived in Strathroy-Caradoc alongside her family back in 1928. She was far from the only person in Hungary to come to Canada around this time, as post-war conditions in the country had encouraged approximately 30,000 Hungarians to immigrate to Canada between the First and Second World War. More than 50 different Hungarian families were present in Strathroy-Caradoc from the 1930s to the late 20th century, making them a small but nonetheless important part of the town's history. These are only some of the over 35,000 items we have in our collection, and while it's almost impossible to show them all off like this, Museum Strathroy-Caradoc is hoping to show as much of the collection as it possibly can, whether it's in person through rotating exhibits and collection tours, or online through our collections database that has been uploaded to the museum's website, or even just through short videos like this. Thank you for watching, and we hope to see you here sometime.